A revolutionary talent, a force of generations ready to alter the game, joined the WNBA in 2024. She had already caught the attention of the basketball world before she even took the court.
Iowa's Caitlin Clark has become a national phenom, and some fans say they went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
As she went along, legends fell in her path, and rivals couldn't keep up. Despite their best efforts to bring her down, she always got back up stronger, harder, and more unstoppable than before. By the end of her first season, it was obvious that a monster had come.
Finds Clark from the logo.
One thing is certain as we go on to the 2025 WNBA season, Caitlin Clark is set to achieve a whole new level. In today's video, we'll dissect the facts, examine the data, and make predictions. What I think her second season might entail, but one thing seems clear. The WNBA isn't prepared for Caitlin Clark's second season.
For the record, she ties it with that one. This for college basketball history.
Caitlin Clark accomplished something remarkable as a freshman in college. She led the NCAA Division I women's basketball team in scoring.
Hilliard, Julie P., Moscow, and Stapleton.
To view this rarity in comparison with her current colleague Kelsey Mitchell, only one other freshman in history had ever achieved the same accomplishment. But Caitlin didn't stop there because, in her second season, improving rather than breaking records was what counted the most. Caitlin Clark demonstrated her ability to dominate every facet of the game by topping the charts and assists in addition to leading NCAA Division I women's basketball in scoring once more. But she didn't stop there. Either having ice in her veins or in her junior year, Caitlin improved on her previous season's scoring and assists, leading many to believe she had peaked. However, in her senior year, Caitlin exceeded all expectations, setting career highs in both categories and leading the league in both. This solidified her legacy as one of the greatest college players ever, as she finished her college career with more points than any player in NCAA history, men or women, and more three-pointers than even Stephen Curry. That's not just amazing, it's almost unbelievable. But here's the thing, Caitlin Clark is a tireless individual who never stops improving, demonstrating that her brilliance has no boundaries. When Caitlin Clark eventually made her WNBA debut, the tale was the same. Her professional career got off to a bad start. She only won one of her first 9 games, and critics were eager to jump in and make fun of her inexperience.
Let me give you the deets. First quarter, she went scoreless, 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 4 from deep, no rebounds, 1 assist, and 5 turnovers.
However, Caitlin had turned things around by the end of that season. She pulled a team that had placed last in their conference the previous season into postseason contention, finishing an excellent 4th in the MVP competition.
And I think that's commendable. I think she's a unicorn. She's doing everything I thought she was going to do, and more, like win the MVP.
And this is where the astonishing facts begin. As you can see, Caitlin Clark was in dire straits when she started her WNBA career. Here's what she was drafted into the WNBA on April 7th, just a week later on April 15th, after her final game of the 2024 NCAA season, a grueling championship showdown. From there, it was a blur of signing her contract, getting to know her new team, attending practices, and acclimating to life as a professional athlete. Then, barely a month after her college championship game on May 14th, she found herself on a WNBA court competing against seasoned professionals with years of experience at the highest level. She entered her first WNBA season, but her second season is a whole different tale. Caitlin Clark is taking a keen, strategic approach to everything.
My girl, Caitlin Clark, took my advice. She's not joining that horrible league, the unrivaled 3-on-3 league.
When offers, such as a chance to play in a new 3-on-3 league, came her way after her first WNBA season ended on September 25th, Caitlin wisely declined them, understanding that rest and recovery were far more important to preparing her for success in her sophomore season. She also knows that taking her time now would pay off when it mattered most on the WNBA court.
And I applauded in my tweet Caitlin snubbing this new 3-on-3 endeavor.
Anyone who questions the value of rest should consider what transpired during the previous month-long break for the Paris Olympics. The pause, despite struggling and even losing to opponents like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark returned from her break playing like an MVP, totally altering the course of events.
till she finally just shut everybody's mouth and proved that she can play at an MVP level. She made a late run at MVP.
This demonstrates how important rest is, particularly for shooters who depend so heavily on their legs. In the NBA, you frequently witness players like Steph Curry getting enough sleep, which puts opposing teams on high alert because a rested shooter is infinitely more dangerous. Caitlin Clark is hardly an exception.
That we're going to get the best version of Caitlin Clark and not one that's continually fatigued.
Caitlin Clark has just around 6 months to get ready for her second season, but in addition to the much-needed recuperation, she has something even more significant. She concluded her rookie season playing at an MVP level, but now she has the time to watch game footage, evaluate her shooting effectiveness, and identify areas for development that will only increase her threat level on the court.
I think there's so many ways that I can continue to get better, and I feel like there were so many ways I could have been even better this year.
She averaged a remarkable 23 points per game throughout her final 10 games of the season. Without any rest, without time to acclimatize to a new league, and without the advice of seasoned veterans, she put up 5 rebounds and 9 assists. If she could perform so well in such conditions, just think of what she could accomplish with a full off-season to prepare.
You know, I'm a competitor and somebody that loves to work, so it won't be hard for me to want to get in the gym and to get even better and, you know.
I would estimate that she will improve by roughly 10% for the upcoming season, which would be in the neighborhood of 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists, all of which are now reasonable. MVP data, and things become much more bizarre from here. Here is a quick look at every WNBA MVP in history. If Caitlin Clark averages 26 points next season, she will have the second highest scoring average ever for an MVP, behind only A'ja Wilson's record-setting 26.9 points per game from the previous season. Now, let's talk about assists. If Caitlin can average 10 dimes, she will more than double the highest assist average ever recorded by a WNBA MVP, which is unprecedented. Based just on those potential numbers, it's difficult to imagine Caitlin not leading the race for MVP the following season. This past year, A'ja Wilson had a breakthrough year, season-setting a career high with 26.9 points per game. But if she slightly regresses the following season and falls short of Caitlin's anticipated scoring output, Caitlin Clark will have an opportunity to accomplish something that hasn't been done since the three-point line was invented. In other words, Cait Clark is poised to make history and have the chance to accomplish something that professional basketball has never witnessed before. No player, male or female, in the NBA or WNBA has ever led their league in both points and assists in the same season.
9-point lead, Clark a 3, it is good!
Caitlin Clark has been working hard over the offseason and appears more driven than ever to achieve her goal. Tenaciously and surrounding herself with top talent, such as Tyrese Haliburton, she appears totally focused and, let's face it, is probably more motivated than ever at this moment. Knowing that she is a competitor, nothing would satisfy her more than to shut down Angel Reese after all the smack talk she has thrown her away.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person.
Next up is Paige Buers, one of her fiercest collegiate rivals who is set to become the first overall choice in the WNBA. Caitlin's unwavering resolve will not allow her to be overshadowed by her age, and she will not forget the detractors who questioned her during her rocky rookie debut. You can sense that she is preparing to disprove each and every one of them. And even a little vengeance, the WNBA was already in shock over the incredible amount of media exposure Caitlin Clark brought to the league. They had never seen anything like this before. Just think of what will happen when she elevates her game even further.
I mean, she is a LeBron-level passer. You want to talk about gifted, they're usually once a generation, and she is it, man.
It's terrifying to consider what she could accomplish next and how much better she could get if she could lead her team from last in the conference to third place in just her rookie season. She was already setting records, becoming the only rookie in history to record multiple 20 points and 10 assists in a game.
Caitlin Clark is a superhero.
The answer is obvious to me. Caitlin will move her team up to the second seed in their conference, and she's leading the league in 2 key statistical categories in order to win the MVP award. And in the process, she will make other WNBA players appear thoroughly overwhelmed and not simply outplayed.
On the shot clock, Clark, a deep three!
Here's another crazy idea. Caitlin Clark is set to rule the WNBA for the next 10 years, if not longer. Take a look at Steph Curry, who is 36 years old and still in charge of the NBA at the age of 14.
Screen by Green, the switch to Lively. 3, Curry!
You can be sure Caitlin will use every resource at her disposal to continue to remain at the top of her game for years to come with all the sports science training methods and recovery procedures available today. But have you ever wondered what it is about Steph Curry that allows him to dominate games even when most athletes begin to wane? If that has ever occurred to you, don't worry. I've prepared a whole video that breaks it all down. So if you're interested, head straight over here and I'll go over everything.